morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do you What's Cracking reading straight from Pilates, so I'm a little bit pink. So today I want to say firstly thank you to everyone. Thank you for all my birthday wishes as well. Had lots of birthday greetings, so thank you so much for thinking of me. I did have a good birthday, although once you get to my age birthdays are a little anticlimactic. All right, for the members, still waiting on a couple of you to send me your email address or your personal details so we can work out whether you'd like to have half an hour coaching session with me, life coaching or coaching with tarot. I'm giving that half an hour to all members. I feel a little bit like I need to do more, but it's just hard to catch everyone online. So the only way I'm thinking I'm going to be able to do it is to schedule something up ahead. So I feel like in the next couple of weeks I might just send an email out to all of you and just suggest a time and see how that falls with you. But I know a couple of you are in other countries. If you would like to become a member, the membership button, join button are below the video. Even if you just want to support the channel, most grateful to have you on board. And if you come on board, I'm offering either a tarot deck, t-shirt, half an hour coaching, as I said. And the last thing is I am waiting, and my website person goes back to work today. So hopefully we'll have a website up and running in the next week or so. So getting there as well. All right, today we're going to use the Ethereal Tarot for your reading, which is the one everybody says, what a beautiful deck. I know, it's just gorgeous. It's all gold embossed. All right, so we're starting off here with the Queen of Wands, and I do note that the King of Swords is behind that, with a Knight of Swords as well. There may be communication coming through. You've got strong Virgo energy here. There may be somebody who is trying to communicate with you here. The Queen of Wands for me can be about feeling really good about yourself. So to me, this is communication that perhaps, I want to say perhaps from somebody you haven't spoken to for a while. It could be romantic, but I'm feeling more with that King of Swords that perhaps you've had some sort of like quiet period or hiatus. Now I have a feeling this sort of energy came through last week. You know, sometimes we need to go and work on ourselves, and we need to have a break from the world around us, so we sort of pull away from people to give us that break. Some people can really trigger us, and we may love them dearly, but you know, when they're triggering things about you from your childhood or your past, or you know, even relationships, it can be quite taxing. So I feel like here perhaps you've stepped away from someone. There seems to be a conversation that is going to take place, but I feel like you've done quite a lot of healing and made quite a lot of changes here. It could be a relationship, someone who broke your heart in the past, but I feel like this person wants to talk to you. There's the Ace of Swords. So there's a brand new beginning here. But what I feel, whether this is romantic for you or whether it is a family member or a friend or perhaps somebody else you've pulled away from in, you know, in time, there needs to be that conversation before things can move forward. So, you know, sometimes we need to talk about it. Other times, I think if you've pulled away from somebody who was very narcissistic, abusive, cruel, then you don't really want to be having those conversations. So I feel like here, this may be a conversation to clear the air or get something off your chest. But that's what you need to be doing. Just excuse me a moment. I'm going to have a couple of mouthfuls of vitamins. I have my coffee sitting here, which my intention was to drink before I did the thing, and of course I haven't, and now it's going to go cold on me, so I will drink this while I'm here too. Okay, so we have a spilt coffee. I'm trying to get organized. Page of Swords coming through with the Sun, the Ace of Wands. There's definitely a new beginning here. I feel very strongly you could be dealing with a Leo, but that Virgo energy came up very strongly as well. So if you are one of those signs or you're dealing with one of those signs, this person has a great deal of love for you. So there is love and respect here. And I feel that they are ready for a new beginning. They do want to invest in you, but I feel like somehow or another there needs to be that conversation. You could have been checking in on this person at intervals, but to me, it makes me feel like they've been checking in on you. But a brand new beginning is at hand. All right, I have the Seven of Cups with the Four of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is always a funny card for me because it can come up as the energy of someone not being true to what they're saying. It's about someone trying to get away with something. But I don't feel that this is that the person's being dishonest with you. I think they're being honest with you, but I feel like you may be dealing with someone who is giving a lot of excuses rather than really fronting up to something. So someone who may be trying to avoid responsibility, especially with this Seven of Cups here. If I hadn't had the Seven of Cups here, I might have felt differently about it. But, you know, sometimes people get a little bit lost in, you know, how they are. They don't really accept feedback that well, or are not sort of reciprocal. We all know the person who doesn't make the right apology, like I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry you responded that way, whereas a real apology comes from that place of I'm really sorry for what I did. And there seems to be an energy here where you may be dealing with somebody who's making excuses for behavior or for treating you poorly, badly, whatever. I do feel they want to put things right, absolutely. But to me, it's just got this little edge where I think you're really happy to hear from this person and I feel like you really want to make amends, but I'm not sure your person is really understanding what they've done wrong. The Empress is coming through here with the Well and the Emperor. You're dealing with a twin, I'd say. Emperor and Empress coming out on top of each other. So I'd say that if you recognize that somebody is a twin flame, or somebody that you had a really very close connection with, I don't feel like your person is really understanding where their part in this situation has perhaps caused you to step away. If it is somebody that you're really close to, because I have the Emperor and Empress, I'm wondering about, even if it was just a relationship, then you have a very close relationship with this person. You know, I'm all up for saying, well, you know, sometimes when people will sort of pull us up about things, we have to stop and have a look at ourselves and see if we have a part in them. I think it's good for us to do that, even if we don't conceive that we did. For example, if someone's ghosted us, what was our part? But it's still good to sit back and see why, especially if you're not healing easily, why those things have happened. Very often people ghost because they really don't know how to handle the situation, and you've usually ripped back a bit of who they are and they feel very vulnerable and they just don't want to get involved in that. But there is a brand new beginning here. But what I want to say to you, because we have the Emperor and Emperor, I'm just going to put a couple more cards on it. So I feel like here you could be dealing with somebody who wants to have this conversation or a new beginning with you. But there is this really strong feeling here that what you're dealing with, you may be letting go of this situation. You may be rebuilding it. But I feel like this person may have hurt you in the past. For whatever reason, they've really, it's almost like you've been the one to sort of pull away because of the hurt and pain. I don't feel like, it's not like this person's blaming you, but I feel like they're not taking responsibility for what they've done. So it may be a very difficult conversation. But always remember, you know, if you're dealing with somebody who's, you know, very narcissistic, for example, explaining yourself will never cut it. And sometimes people make a lot of promises then that they can't keep. So you may also be dealing with someone who's promising you lots of things but isn't able to back that up. I do feel like for many of you this is a new beginning, but I also feel like maybe you're seeing something, maybe you're sort of seeing through something that you've never seen before. And through that, sometimes when we become more, if we've been through a healing, we can become, 10:10 on the clock. If we've been through a really strong healing, then sometimes when we come back to something, it can look very different to us. But sometimes if we've had a break from somebody and we've had a lot of time to heal, sometimes if they step back into our lives, we can be thrown into those triggers very, very easily. And we go straight back in to that vulnerable place that we left behind. So staying grounded, really understanding that you have the power through observation to see what someone is promising you. But sometimes we're so glad to have that person back in our lives that we don't really see it for what it is. And I feel like this person may be trying to, I don't want to say blindside you, but they may be ignoring their responsibility in the situation. And let's face it, we've all done those ones. You're trying to explain something to somebody and how hurt you feel, and they take it personally, and they just think that you're, out to get them or whatever else. And no matter how you phrase it, no matter how careful you are, even if you use all the I statements, people will still take it personally if they're not in the space to accept responsibility. All right. So, the Towers here with the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I really feel here that there is a love offer on the table. Absolutely. We have the Knight of Cups with the Ace of Cups. So I feel like the love offer's here. But you've got someone who's not prepared to let things go. All right. So the change that has to be made is that the person you're dealing with needs to let things go. Now, if I'm talking to you and you're finding things hard to let go, like you want to keep rehashing the past or going over things, then maybe you aren't to a point where you can be really grounded and comfortable with what's happened. Either way, there is one person here who's just not willing to budge, and I feel like the other person's trying really hard to put it right. But at the end of the day, the love offer's here. Now, in saying that, if both parties are talking and you have, a good conversation going where ultimately you are both wanting the same thing, then there's no problem with healing together. Just as long as your person's ready to accept that perhaps they had a role to play too. All right, let's read you an oracle card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Oh, straight out. Dances on one foot, balancing act. It is card number 9. I don't know if I've read this card before. It's really interesting. You can have a deck for a long time and you just keep pulling the same cards, and one day a card comes out and you think, I don't think I've seen that one before. When Dances on One Foot shows up, you're called to find a new balance. Just as a dancer moves gracefully into each pose, no matter how precariously balanced a step might seem, you must bring equanimity to the situation before you, no matter how thorny or difficult a relationship seems. If you're putting too much effort into managing your life, work, and relationships, family, or digital media, you are missing the point. You have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that any one time half of it's going to be up in the air. You are confusing readiness with preparation. So when you feel like you're losing your balance, and I wonder if that is that energy I'm getting of, feeling really in control of a situation. Now, I'm not saying control the situation, but you feeling really grounded, observing, able to see the situation for what it is. Sometimes we really have to step back on that. If you have what I see as emotional dysregulation, which many people have from childhood trauma, PTSD, sometimes you'll just work through your emotions and you don't really we all do it. When you sort of flip out at something and you think later, why did I flip out at that so badly? That's your trigger. And if you are emotionally dysregulated, then what happens sometimes, you just see everything through your emotions. And sometimes we need to just detach from those emotions and really see the situation for what it is. If we don't do that, sometimes we can accept things or move forward on things that really aren't right for us. So, for example, somebody comes forward and offers you a job, and you're so excited about the job, and your energy's in the job, and you're excited to go back to work. And in the meantime, they're telling you that you're only getting half the pay that you wanted, and these are the conditions, but you're so happy to go back to work, you don't look at all the other stuff. And then when you get back and you start to read through your contract, you think, why did I agree to this? Like, that is just really harsh, and I'm really not sure that's the job for me. But you've already committed. So that's just a good example. All right, I will leave you with that. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, Pisces reading after this one.